Hey everybody, and welcome back to the actual first episode of On an Unrelated Note. I'm Mike Allen, and my co-host Mike Badonte over here. We have perfected this because we've done it 2 or 3 other times, but now you're hearing it for the first time ever today.
I feel like perfected is a bit of an overstatement here at this point. let's wait and see if we perfected it.
It's perfected up to a certain point, I guess. But yeah, so how was your weekend, Mike? What was going on in your life?
You know, I'm really here. I'm feeling real old today because I spent all Saturday drinking and riding down a river, and I'm like, man, I can't do that anymore. You don't spring back like you used to, man.
Yeah, you really don't, especially if you had the sun in the mix with drinking. It's like sitting in a hot tub for 4 hours drinking beer.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yep.
My weekend wasn't very eventful. Typical. Got drunk, ate pizza.
Typical got drunk, ate pizza.
Watched a lot of Mad Men, and here we are.
Yeah, you said you were starting Mad Men. Is that like I couldn't get past like episode 3?
I pushed forward. I went past it, and I enjoy it. I don't know. I feel like it's definitely a story that takes some time to understand the characters, because that's what I think all season 1 is. It's just understanding the characters. Because you got like Don Draper, who's this dude that's got a messed up fast. You got this one dude who's like trying to impress his father, and he doesn't want to like take his father's money, but he's a total dick. And then you got Peggy, who's like, she's the main girl that's the secretary. I think you've seen on all the ads when it was on TV. Like, it's basically her story is like she's the first woman to actually be kind of considered a professional and the challenges she faces. And then there's a bunch of other characters that just like have trouble because they cheat on their wives and stuff like that. So, I mean,
yeah, I bounced off on season 3. I feel like there was a January Jones. That's someone's wife or whatever.
Oh, that is January Jones. It's Don Draper's wife.
And she gets like Parkinson's or something. And I was just kind of like, I didn't even know who she was when that happened in the show. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done.
Well, she actually doesn't get Parkinson's. At least I don't think so.
She's all shaky, right? Is that?
Yeah, but I think it's because of anxiety. Because it's like episode 8. She hasn't got the shakes yet.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe I watched further.
I could be wrong, though. It's only episode 8. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, she got them and then went to therapy, and now she doesn't get them now. I don't know.
Fair enough. Let's talk about something that's all relevant.
Moving on. I'll move on from a show that's not like super old and on Netflix now. But on an unrelated note, I saw this that they're redoing Stephen King's It, and I love that movie as a child. Did you ever see it?
I'm sure I've seen it. I don't remember it much. I'm not a big horror guy, so I don't watch a lot of horror movies. I do know that I spent a lot of my time confusing The Thing and It, just because they're very generic titles.
That's true. That's true. Well, for all of you who haven't seen the original It was it was about this like clown called Pennywise, and it was just so creepy because he like basically eats a child in one scene, and then another scene he's in a library, and he like the kid's older now, he's like an adult, and he's like, well, you want a balloon? And all these balloons start falling down and popping full of blood.
God, clowns are so creepy.
They are creepy, but they're redoing it, and they showed
it's the kid from the latest Vacation movie, or Meet the Millers, right? It's the kid from Meet the Millers.
I actually don't know who's in it. I've just seen the image of the new Pennywise, which looks really not that great. Because I think the great thing about the old Pennywise is he looked like a clown that could probably be a child molester or something at a state fair, and this guy just looks like he's like a medieval
clown. You mean a clown? Just a clown, no qualifier.
A generic clown. Yeah. We assume all clowns are child molesters, I guess. But yeah, looking forward to that. I wonder if it'll live up to the original. Probably not, though, because remakes suck.
We're living in a world of remakes. It's all remakes.
That's true. There's no original ideas anymore. It's really bothersome.
Yeah.
Although, so we were talking about video game movies on the promo last week, and I know we've been talking about like, are they going to make a video game movie that's going to be good? I don't know if that's the case, but Michael Fassbender's in the Assassin's Creed movie. Now, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead and comment. Just go ahead.
No, I'm curious. I'm curious what you have to say about this. I read some report a while back, and they said, oh, it's set like 80% or 70% or something in the future, and it's like That's the part that no one likes about Assassin's Creed. People like when you get to go to Italy and stuff. No one wants to go to like be in an office building in like Montreal. Like that's not like.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if they're gonna do that. The Assassin's Creed video game whole storyline, they kind of just they were like, hey, we got a story, and then they realized they were making a lot of money, so they kind of just like scratched that whole thing, and they're like, well, this is what it is now. But I think he's gonna be a lot in the past. But the interesting thing I saw on it was the stunt double. He did the first, he did a 125 feet leap of faith, and it showed him doing it, which you don't think is that tall. Man, it's pretty tall. Yeah. Like, it is insane how tall that is.
So I saw this news story first. So for any listeners who haven't played the game, don't know what the leap of faith is, there's this part of the game, I wanted to say very tired trope, but I guess it was cool in the first one. Where
it was awesome.
You would like, because you're exploring like medieval Rome or like some like really cool place that they recreate pretty well, and so you climb to the top of like some historical landmark, look around, see the map, and then to the sound of a crow, you swan dive off the top of the steeple and into like a bale of hay.
Into like a 3 foot deep bale of hay.
It doesn't make any
would
sense.
Definitely kill you off that.
So when they said a stunt, they somehow did that with a practical stunt. I was like, that's impressive. I don't know what he jumped into. I didn't see the video or anything.
It was a giant like mat air cushion thing, and it was pretty impressive. And even the dude, he did it because they had to do it within 50 feet segments, and then like 100, and then 125. Apparently, that's like the record. 125 is the record. He didn't set it, but no one's gone higher than that when doing jumps that are real life like that.
Yeah, well, they probably shouldn't. That's probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
120 feet higher than you should go.
Yeah, that's true. I think Assassin's Creed will probably suck as a movie, but the action will be good. So
we'll see. Jury's still out.
But on an unrelated note, all right. So I want to talk about video games here for a minute, and this next video game. It's just, I hate it so much. And people might, like, I don't know, they do like it and they'll get mad at me is what I'm saying. So, Destiny, yeah, that describes it. Ugh. Destiny is just a wannabe, like, ripoff of every other RPG, but still with Halo elements. And actually, I think Mike has a lot to say, so.
All right, so, again, for keeping on the train of maybe people haven't played some of these games. So, basically, everyone's heard of Halo. The developers of Halo left Microsoft and decided to make their own game that's basically kind of Halo with wizards and space wizards.
And no story. No reason for them being
there. There is a story mode, but, it was billed as like, this is going to be a game that you're going to play forever. And then, I don't know, we probably put like a week into it and was like, I'm kind of done. But some people latched onto it.
They're still playing that, yeah.
Every now and then I'll get on and one of our friends, Brent, will be playing, and I'll be like, What are you doing? The game's like 3 years old. There's nothing to do. Like it just you do the same missions over and over and over again so you can paint your armor different colors. I don't know. I don't get it, man.
It doesn't make any sense. But the whole point, yes, people still play the game, and there's a DLC coming out, which is so contradictory to Destiny, and it's so funny. It's called Destiny: The Rise of Iron, and I'm like, what? This is space. Like, I feel like there's way better elements out there, right?
It should have been called Destiny: The Rise of Unobtainium.
Yeah, something, And
good James Cameron to write something.
So they're doing these interviews with the people who made the game, and they're saying this like, yeah, it's a storyline that's based off these ancient guys that they're Ironborn and blah 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 blah. I was like, wait, this feels a lot like, what's it called? Elder Scrolls, the Skyrim. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're kind of ripping off that. But then they're like, but then the bad guys come, and they use nanotechnology of the ancient Iron.
Nanotech.
Like, first off, you got
nanotech is like the biggest like script writer's crutch. Like besides like the pronoun game, like nanotech is like the pronoun game for if you don't know, if anyone doesn't know, is where you pad the runtime of your movie by having someone go, we have to stop him, and then the other person go, who, and then that person have to explain who him is, as opposed to that person just going, we need to stop Darth Vader. They have to go, he's my father. Like, who? Darth Vader. And it's like, you could have written that sentence better. But anyway, nanotech, whenever you can't explain anything in a movie, they go, oh, well, it's nanomachines. And anyone like, all right. Anyway.
No one really knows what that is. But yeah, so this whole story, they're putting it together. You have aliens with nanotech. You have these guys dressed in medieval iron armor, One even has like a fireplace in his chest, which is really weird. I don't know how that works, but and it looks like they don't know what they're doing. They're just like, I'm going to turn it into Diablo. You know, like, that's what it seems.
So I did hear about this, but the news story that kind of came along with this that I thought was very interesting. I think they have announced that there will be a Destiny 2.
Oh God!
And the reports from their financials is that it's going to be called Destiny 2. The irony of Destiny 2 should not be lost on people. You can't have a second Destiny. Like, this is your destiny. Like, it's like, that's it. You can't have two destinies. Yeah. Like, that's not how mythology works.
Just like, goes to show you those guys over there don't know what's. They have some of the best screenwriters ever.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, I mean, I guess you got to. I don't know. So that's an interesting question to springboard off of this on an unrelated note.
Which is the name of our show, Mike. See what I did there? Yeah.
You're some kind of family guy.
He said it. He said it.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this the other day. The idea of numbered sequels versus subtitle sequels. So Destiny can't do it because they're already calling their downloadable expansions like Destiny : whatever. So they have to say 2,
Rise
so
of the
that
King.
It's a new one, right? But like
demolish
for example, you got Iron Man, then you got Iron Man 2, then you got Iron Man 3. But like for like, you know, then you have like, you know, Thor: The Dark World, or like Captain America, the next Captain America movie. And like
the Winter Soldier, okay. By the way, if you don't know.
And so I've thought a lot. Like, I feel like there is definitely probably a market imperative that you probably make more money off being like a 2, right? Like, because like it's like
oh yeah, there's more money in sequels because you already have a fan.
Like, I wonder if there's a point where at the end of that it like tails down, where it's like, oh, you're just making numbered sequels, whereas opposed to if you're like, this is Avengers, something else is happening, as opposed to like, would people be excited for like Avengers 3 in the way they are excited for like Avengers Infinity War?
Right. No, I mean, yeah, titles help. But at the same time, I think a lot of sequels that are crappier movies use like Retribution and Revenge, and it's always the same R words that are like revolution. Yeah.
With R words, again, there must be market research that says people love R words as like they're colon like you know, it's all, I mean, both the Matrix sequels, like probably an underworld, like something's revolving or
there's something that's always the R, and I love it when they're like revolution. I love when they do that one because it's like, it's supposed to mean that it's like a new story, you know, something else is happening. It's the exact same story every time, and you're like, that is the opposite of what you're portraying. If you actually look up the term,
I've made the joke that they go, you know, this is Underworld Revolution, and they're like trying to be like everything's changed. Like I think they're trying to say a revolution as in like a political revolution or something like that. But it always seems to me, usually when that title happens, it means you're just doing a 360 and telling the same story again, like a physical revolution as opposed to like a.
Or they bring someone back and they're like, this person was actually important. Oh,
Letty's not dead, or she was dead. I don't know. Yeah. God, they're doing 10 of those. That's insanity.
On an unrelated note, all right. So, I saw the other day that Natalie Portman commented about, she's like, I think I'm done with Marvel. And they were like, why? And he's like, well, they don't write me in any more movies, so she's not going to call. And I'm like, you know what? That's okay, because your character sucked.
That's true. Like, I saw a couple of those headlines, and they seemed real, like, I mean, as everything is on the internet, super clickbaity. I mean, we're gonna name this video we put on YouTube like 9 ways to see boobs or something like that, and everyone will click on it. But like, you know, it's like Natalie Portman says she's, quote, done with Marvel movies, and it's like, I mean, she did say that, but the context was like, oh, are you gonna be in the next one? She's like, I don't know, I think I might be done because they're not putting me in. Like, she wasn't like, I'm done with this crap. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I love the titles on things. That's what they get. That's how they get me to click them. Yeah,
we live in the BuzzFeed culture that I hate, Mike.
Actually, this is on a related note because it exist in the Marvel universe. So I was reading into, the Russo brothers were talking. They're always talking about, Thanos and that stuff. Well, they were talking about casting Anna Kendrick for Squirrel Girl.
I saw this.
And which is all right, Squirrel Girl.
She's the dumbest.
I don't know anything about her character, but like she's literally a squirrel that is a girl. But
all right.
I
think I was going to fill in with you.
But she actually defeats Thanos. She's the one that does it. So like the fact that they're already casting for her means that it's probably going to happen that way.
Well,
right?
So a few caveats.
Okay.
One, there was just like someone posted some Photoshop of her as Squirrel Girl, and then she posted, "Oh yeah, my brother said it would be cool if I did this," and so I think they're just kind of responding in that room. I don't think they're casting her. And second of all,
I just don't think it's a smart move. It's not a cool name.
Well, she's a complete joke of a character. She's in kind of like a Deadpoolian, she's kind of she doesn't break the fourth wall or whatever, but she's a joke. So the joke is she has no powers, but she somehow defeated Thanos. So in all fairness, a lot of people have defeated Thanos, or it's one of the things.
Well, yeah, I was saying, but not everyone has. Squirrel Girl has.
Drax has, though. There's no way this MCU Drax could take on Thanos. Ronan slapped him around like he was nobody.
Oh yeah. Actually, follow that.
If I could say one other thing about Drax, so no one knew about Guardians of the Galaxy, and I didn't even know much about him until this happened. But people should look up Drax, Guardians of the Galaxy, David Bautista, and then look up Drax, Silver Surfer animated series, and you'll go, what? When I saw that, I didn't know because
there's a Drax animated series?
Drax was in the Silver Surfer animated series, and he's
I didn't know that.
A weird green and blue robot with a cape. So when they were we're gonna have this guy, I was like, that seems dumb, but I guess they've revised the character since whenever that show came out in the 90s or something.
Yeah.
I was like,
clearly, I didn't know Drax was that big of a. Yeah. Again, I didn't know much about Guardians until it came out. But to bring it to Guardians, Vin Diesel, everyone's been asking, are the Guardians going to eventually meet up with the Avengers or whatnot? And I think everyone would agree that, yes, eventually they are. But James Gunn's I don't know if I'm going to do another Guardians, which, James, yes, you are. This is the best thing you've ever done.
I liked Super. Guardians is way better than Super, but I really liked Super.
Yeah, I like Super, too, but, no one knows much of what he does.
It's true.
What I'm saying.
Does he have... So he did Guardians before that, and he did Super and Slither. Has he done anything else?
Slither
was his debut, I believe.
Yeah, which was pretty decent.
Yeah.
It was a good movie, I think. Yeah. He's done other stuff, but this is what he's going to be known for. So James, don't tell me you're not going to make another one. It's just he doesn't know yet. Realistically, if he's going, of course they're going to make another Guardians. They caught fire. They're going to keep that going. But everyone's been not anytime soon are they going to join up. They're going to join up before either during Infinity Wars or during the second part. If I had to guess, they're going to be kind of relevant, and then they're going to use them to continue the Marvel universe.
There's no way that so apparently, unlike every single other Marvel movie, Guardians of the Galaxy isn't in real time. In that the events of Iron Man 3 happened roughly in the same time scale as the movies were released. But Guardians 2 is taking place, I think, just a few months after Guardians 1. So that's the first Marvel movie to not be in our timeline, right? So I would be completely unsurprised if Guardians 1 didn't actually take place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now-ish. And so that Guardians 2 will then be able to set up Thanos for Infinity War.
They've already found I forgot what they're called, the gemstones, the power gems. God, how did I forget that? What are they called? Infinity Stones. God, man, I'm an idiot. Someone smacked me in the face right now.
They're also called gems sometimes too. They don't keep it very consistent.
Yeah. Well, so as of right now, Thanos doesn't have one of them, and the gauntlet is actually in Thor's dad's little hallway.
Why do you keep making me have to be such a super nerd, Mike? What it turns out is, if you notice, the Infinity Gauntlet in Thor's place is a left-handed Infinity Gauntlet, and the Infinity Gauntlet that he grabs out of the case at the end of Avengers: Age of Ultron is a right-handed Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay, yeah.
See,
I thought I was.
When you stumble over things like that,
you take it to that next level, bro.
We can't post this. I'll never meet a girl again. We get.
It could have just been a mistake. All right, moving on. On an unrelated note, let's bring it back to video games. And Mike, you're gonna be so excited for this. Let me just tell you right now. All right.
I can tell by your tone that I won't.
Ubisoft revealed that there's gonna be a new multiplayer mode within Watch Dogs 2. What are your thoughts?
Hold on. I gotta do something real quick, Mike. I just need to tab over and write down the time code. All right, so I can then go fuck Watch Dogs.
All right, guys, if you have never played Watch Dogs, it was this very overhyped game for original Xbox One release when it first came out, I believe.
Yeah, I think it might have been. It might have been Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and then might have been the last gens too. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know they threw it onto the last gens, but man, this game was overhyped. You were like a hacker that could hack anything and kill everybody, and they're like, online multiplayer where you can go and hack other people's games. Like, man, they hyped this so much. And me and Mike Badont played it, and dear God, was it just a shit show.
I mean,
none of it worked.
I don't even want to give this game any airtime. I remember it was you, me, and Mac, and we were all like, let's get online because we're thinking it's gonna be like a fun open world where we run around. You can't do anything. It's just
you can't do anything. You can't even shoot your friend.
You can't do anything.
None of that. And then second, if you try to do any game, it was the worst. Like, you drop down to like 480 interlaced graphics, and things were just glitching everywhere. It was the worst game ever. And Watch Dogs 2 came out. It hasn't even come out yet. They started promoing for it like 3 months ago, and it doesn't come out till like November. What are they doing?
Like, so here's what they're doing is there's a thing in games that actually doesn't really exist in most other media. Shit, what am I trying to say?
I don't know. Figure it out, bro.
So basically, if you make a movie, and this is a very new thing for movies to actually go on the same trend where like Iron Man 2 makes more money than Iron Man 1 and Iron Man. Fuck me, I can't put it.
Come on, get it together.
I'll cut all this out. All right, check the time code. All right. So basically, it's a very new phenomenon that in movies sequels make money.
Yes.
The original Star Wars made more money than any of the sequels. It made more money than Empire Strikes Back, and then made more money than Return of the Jedi. Which
I actually never knew that. That's an interesting fact.
Well, it skewed because back in the day there were no home video sales or anything like this, right? So if you wanted to see it, they'd re-release stuff in the theaters more often, which would boost your like box office. But for the most part, the first one still actually makes more money because for the most part, people will go back and buy the DVD of the first one to watch it and catch up, right? A book, the best-selling of like all of the books are always the first book. Because say you like Game of Thrones and you go and buy the Game of Thrones book, people buy the first one and they go, oh, God, that's a lot of words. Or they like it and they go to number 2, and then on number 2 they give up. They'll give up at some point before like
probably whenever they realize that George R. R. Martin's not going to finish the series.
Like the last book will have the most like initial sales, right? Like at the end of the day, less copies of it will be made than of any of the other books. Because why would you read that last book and if you didn't have any of the other books? Anyway, Watch Dogs 2 basically.
Is that what we were talking about? I totally got it.
No,
Watch Dogs 2 such a giant.
So this was all basically a setup for the idea that a Watch Dogs 2, regardless of how well it was received, was going to happen because in video games, unlike other forms of media, an established franchise, your sequels do better 100% of the time. Not 95% of the time. Just because people go, hey, this is Watch Dogs 2. It must have been good because they made a second one. They should just make everything 2. Like, I'm just going to go write a game and just be like,
Guys, this is on Unrelated Note 2.
Yeah. If you guys want to go check out our old series that we were doing, it was really liked. You can find it. It's on the iTunes. You just find it there.
Okay.
This is the sequel.
Yeah. So on Unrelated Notes, let's move on. I know we've talked about Star Wars already, but we've talked about it in the past in the promo a little bit, or in the deleted episodes that never made it to air. But I do want to say one thing. They're like, Disney bought them out, $1 billion. There's going to be Star Wars movies to the end of time. $4 billion. Sorry, my bad. But there is one solo movie I would watch and think I would generally enjoy is they're talking about a solo Obi-Wan Kenobi with Ewan McGregor. Like the in-between moments between like 3 and 4, I think that could be interesting. I really do.
I mean, Ewan McGregor was definitely the best part of the prequels. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would really love, and this is not my original idea. Like, I've heard this from a bunch of other people, but I'd really love like an Unforgiven style, like Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan, he's out there living in Tatooine. He's just watching over Luke. You know, he's going into these like he's going into these cantinas and stuff, and like, you know,
just getting whores and
no, like, you know, see, he doesn't want to get involved. Like, you know, maybe the Empire's like roughing some guys up. Maybe they're doing something, and like he's like, I can't get involved, and then something happens, and he's like, I'll get involved, and then they like someone knows he's there, so they send a bounty hunter after him, and he has to like take him. You know, like real Unforgiven. Go watch the movie Unforgiven. I want that with lightsabers.
I think that's a very valid and totally doable what you're talking about. For me, I think what would be cool to see is, because I think the Star Wars universe is awesome, but at the same time it's so kosher. They keep everything just like everyone's path is so set forward. Even the guy that's the anti-hero has more traits as a hero, and I'm talking about Han Solo,
yep.
By the way, guys. But I'm saying it would be cool to see him maybe watching over Luke or doing something. He's just like, maybe he's hit a low point. Like, Anakin was his pupil, you know, and he failed him. And, you know, he's just like, he's just disgusted with himself, depressed. He's hitting low points. He's hitting up cantinas and bars. I think a redemption type of thing to be like, hey, you still got what it takes to, like, maybe people are looking for him. Maybe Yoda's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, get it together, you know? I'm just saying, I think it'd be way more interesting and different to see that side of Star Wars than the side everyone knows. It's always like, I'm good. I saved the day, which is not realistic. Most people go up highs and lows.
And especially since they're going to make Star Wars movies till past the point when I'm dead. They never save the day because there's just another problem because it's called Star Wars.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely think you need to find something between, like, in episode 3, it's like, man, I just totally, like, my apprentice turned in the dark side. Like, I have to put some of that on me, right?
He murdered children. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, like Obi-Wan, you kind of let this out. Like, you should have noticed something, maybe, right? Like, it's kind of fault. But, like, then episode 4, he's just kind of like, hey, Luke, come with me to Alderaan, whatever. I've failed as a teacher before, but you'll be fine. I mean, your dad was a psychopath. Maybe that's a neurological disease in your family. I don't know. Just come with me. So like, something that must have happened where he, like, restore his faith in the Force or in himself or something like that.
Yeah, like, I would love to see an Obi-Wan that just gives it all up, walks away, and then, like, he gets forced into situations where he has to, like, you know, show out and do what he does as a Jedi, and then he's like, okay, maybe I'm still needed. Maybe I am redeemable. Maybe everything wasn't my fault. And there's so many different ways you can show that.
Here's what and I've heard this theory too, and I just want to throw it out to you just for your thoughts. So in case anyone doesn't know, Darth Maul's not dead. He's still alive.
Really?
Yeah. He came back.
Didn't know
he came back in the Star Wars Clone Wars. So Darth Maul is still alive. So I love.
But is that gonna actually the Clone Wars, the TV shows?
That's
right?
yeah.
Is that actually?
So
they're gonna pull from that?
The only pre-Disney owned Star Wars things that are considered canon are the 6 movies and the Clone Wars.
I heard the Clone Wars TV show was actually really good.
Oh man, it gets really good. The first season's not so much, but like,
yeah.
But no, it gets really good. Like, it's one of those things where I was like, I had heard that, and so as a Star Wars fan, I like powered through it. But like, I couldn't recommend it to a non-Star Wars fan because you got to sit through like 3 seasons of like nonsense. But
That is nerd dedication, folks, right there. Mike B. He wins the prize. Hey, on an unrelated note, moving on. All right,
I don't even get to respond to this.
You don't. You got to sit through 3 crap seasons before it's good. What are you doing with your life, bro? No,
I'm still sitting through crap seasons of Arrow. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, me too. So, sorry. Director James Wan, he's great in horror movies. I love his horror movie, The Conjuring, all those. He does like Insidious, great stuff. Now he is directing the Aquaman movie, which is an interesting choice. And he's kind of already been like pushing it against the walls, being like, Zack Snyder, you can go F off. Like, I really don't want your opinion. But at the same time, he's like, he don't want to piss off you don't want to piss off your boss. You never want to piss off your boss. I mean, Zack Snyder's the co-producer of everything in that thing. But here's what he said, which I think Aquaman might fail for this one specific reason. He said that Aquaman is like the Wolverine of the Justice League. And my original thoughts was, hey, how about we stop, like, as a director, stop trying to compare yourself to Marvel and make something freaking original. Like, I don't need to see Wolverine again underwater. I want to see Aquaman. Make Aquaman the way you want to make him. Don't compare him to another character, especially one that's not even in the Marvel universe. It's in its own. It technically is, but the movie universe, it's not. So
Fox owns the rights to the X-Men.
Right. Like, you're never going to see that combined anytime soon. But, Mike, wouldn't you agree?
Well, 2 parts. I think this goes back to maybe the clickbaitification of the entire world. I wanted to say the internet, but then I was thinking, no, I was watching like the morning news the other day, and they were just like, "Ooh, what's this thing that's going to kill you? Find out after the break." And it's like, if that was really news and something was going to kill me, you wouldn't wait till after the break. Anyway, but
I don't know, man. Like, gotta get those 7-Eleven commercials in.
There's a tornado in your town, but we're gonna hold that as a tease. Anyway,
you are minutes away from death, but check out this new Taco Bell quesarita ad.
Find out why you're minutes away from death at 11. Time a whole day.
Oh God, shit! The anticipation alone would kill me.
No, so what he was basically saying was 2-part. And basically, by the fact that he means he's the one that doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, I know. You could just say that. Why have to? It's just such
it's
a
comparative.
I mean,
I understand. Listen, I understand it from both sides. In that, like, yeah, stop. I'm sick and tired of DC trying to compare themselves to Marvel. Like, they seem to somehow want to compare themselves to Marvel, but also
but can't do it.
But also can't do it. That is true. They cannot make a good movie. Like what's the worst MCU movie? Iron Man 3 probably.
I don't know. Thor 2 was pretty bad. I thought Iron Man 3 was at least better than Thor. Thor 2, you're like...
Oh, Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is the worst one.
Okay, no, but Thor 2, they're like, in the beginning, there was darkness.
Yeah, that one's bad. But no...
That one's bad. You don't even care about,
either way, whether it's Iron Man 2... every single one of the MCU movies is more entertaining than any of the DC movies.
Every worst Marvel movie, which there's not that many, has a better story, better characters than any DC film relevant in the Zack Snyder universe.
I would say perhaps I would maybe say that Man of Steel as a movie might be a better movie than Iron Man 2. But
I'll agree with that. Character-wise, no.
No, and fun-wise. Iron Man 2 was stupid, but it was a lot of fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where's my bird? I want to know where my bird is. Like, Dude, yeah. You got my favorite guy of all time.
What's his name? He's the guy that plays Mickey Rourke.
No, but my favorite. Oh, that guy of all time, Sam Rockwell. You can't have a bad movie.
What an underrated guy.
Have a bad movie
I want to see more of Sam Rockwell.
You can't have a bad
that guy,
movie
he
Rockwell.
kills it and everything. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Even in Cowboys and Aliens, was that a reference? I'm pretty sure no one even I forgot that was even a movie.
Yeah. No, he was good in that too. But he played the Doctor now. Like everything he does, it's Galaxy Quest. Like he's just great. He was great in Seven Sacrifices.
Green Mile, dude. He was the bad guy in Green Mile.
He was
remember?
In Green Mile?
Yeah, he's the guy that was gonna do electric chair, and he was crazy and pissing on everybody. Yeah, that was him. That was award winning.
Was he the one that didn't I haven't seen the Green Mile
John
forever.
Coffey got charged for rape. He was the guy that actually raped those girls.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking of the guards.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
That's old school. That's Stephen King too, by the way.
I think I need to correct myself because I might have earlier said, "Man, that dude's hilarious." Obviously, not in that.
not in that context, folks. So,
yeah. What were we talking about? James Wan.
Yeah, I had no idea. Let's move on. On an unrelated note. All right, so I saw this the other day. Mike, you're going to be thrilled. And when I actually say you're going to be thrilled, not like Watch Dogs 2 thrilled. So
I don't believe
Pokemon Snap is coming to Wii U and the virtual console. Like, they're going to make – I guess everyone's investing in the Oculus Rift technology for VR. So they're going to make a Pokemon Snap for VR. And, like, dude, like, I know everyone's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Why do you care about – Pokemon Snap on N64 was dope. I don't care what anyone says, it was dope. And you know you played it and you had a good time, and I'm excited to play it again. On VR of all things.
Mike, I don't want to break your heart.
Listen here, sir. God, you son of a bitch.
Virtual console is just Nintendo's term for having old games just on the Wii U.
Oh,
So all 12 people
really,
that own a Wii U can play it on their Wii U.
I am genuinely disappointed.
That's what I meant. NX. Keep your fingers crossed. I'm stoked. Do you know what you've heard of the NX?
I didn't know. No.
So the NX is Nintendo's next console, and
which is gonna be crappy then probably.
So the idea is, and these are like based on patents that are floating around or whatever, is that it's gonna be like a Game Boy and a console in one. So we're talking like you can take it on the go and play your games, or you can hook it up to your TV and play your games. But like we're talking, the Zelda that's coming out on the Wii U is going to come out on this, right? So we're talking a handheld that can do like 360 PlayStation 3 type power. Imagine a Pokemon Snap on that, dude. Saying.
Oh. Well, no, here's what I'm going to say.
I'm still laughing about the virtual console.
I got my hopes up for nothing. All right, so that would be dope, though. Nintendo, if you're listening.
But just to cover it, dude, Pokemon Snap, I would say probably has the widest gap between trying to explain it to someone and having it sound terrible and, like, great gameplay. If I was like, oh, you want to play a game where you just ride around on a minecart and take pictures of Pokemon? You're like,
throw Pokeballs at them to, like, antagonize them? Yeah.
I think you, like, try and throw, like, you could either throw, like, maybe, like, a rock at them. And, like, you try to get the best composed pictures. It taught me a lot about cinematography and stuff. I don't know.
I really enjoyed it. A lot of nostalgia factor for me. But if they're not thinking about making a Pokemon Snap virtual reality game, they need to get their ducks in a row. But it's Nintendo. They're known for just taking old stuff and revamping it.
Can I just get a regular HD Pokemon? That's all I want.
Yeah. Well, I think we've talked enough about Pokemon.
But I mean,
please.
Except everyone stop.
I don't want.
No.
Please.
Let me say one more thing. I don't like this.
Unrelated. We're moving on.
I don't like this.
Everyone.
I'm quitting the podcast.
So everyone, Mike B has left. I'm now solo here, and now it's all my thoughts. So,
I'm just kidding. I'm still here.
All right, everyone. On an unrelated note, so Deadpool, as you know, great movie, awesome. I don't know any. If you didn't like Deadpool, I don't know. You're a communist, maybe. But no. Kyle Chandler, which is the guy that plays John Rayburn.
Why does that name sound familiar? Who's this guy?
Well, I'm trying to explain.
All right, well, just explain it to me faster, is all.
Kyle Chandler, he played on Bloodline. He was John Rayburn.
I didn't see Bloodline. What else? Is he the guy that's? Is he the main guy? Is he the guy whose picture is on Netflix?
Yeah, he's the main guy. But you've also Friday Night Lights, the TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that guy. He is in talks to play Cable. Which is cool. You know, he's a good actor, man. I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, he's got brown hair. Everyone wants that dude.
I know. I want that dude.
Stephen Lang from Avatar. Really
do you ever see that?
But he's got scheduling conflict.
Did you ever see that show? What was it? It was like they go back to dinosaur times. It got canceled after like 1 year on Fox. Terra Nova.
Yeah.
He was in.
I never saw it, but I know he was in it. He just plays the same intense like gray-haired dude, like, I have so much intensity, and I don't think
that's Cable.
that is Cable. But like, dude,
dude's yoked. He's like 60 or something. He's yoked. That Friday Night Lights guy's not yoked.
Well, and he's in that new movie coming out, where he's the blind guy and they rob that house.
Yeah, he looks cool in that.
Like, Don't Breathe. Yeah, he looks like he's gonna murk some people. But like another cool thing that I found out, which I actually didn't know, is that Mackenzie Davis, she's played in The Awkward Moment in like some TV show that I can't name right now, but she's going to play Domino in Deadpool 2, which I didn't even know Domino was a Marvel character.
Yeah, like you didn't know that Domino's Pizza is a subsidiary of Disney Corporation? She's just a giant pizza that just like... And like
she's a pizza that kills people with cholesterol.
Her arms are breadsticks, and like she just throws sauce packets at people.
That would actually that's an original idea right there.
That's a pretty good one.
Pitch it.
What should we call it? Pizza the Hut. But no,
Pizza.
Yeah, no, Domino. I don't really. I've probably seen her or something. I know she has like white skin, and I think she has like. I think she's kind of.
Cuckoo.
I don't know. She looks like if you wanted to cosplay as a Domino piece. She kind of looks like that.
Her own. Domino already has her own movie, but it was terrible.
What?
Yeah, with Keira Knightley and.
No,
Mickey
that's
Rourke.
A different Domino. That's not the same Domino.
Is it?
No.
Then, really?
Is Keira Knightley's name in that Domino?
Yeah, it's called Domino. The movie.
But is her character called Domino?
Her name is Domino.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be the weirdest thing to be licensed by Marvel. She doesn't look anything like the Domino that I'm aware of. But that's weird.
I could be wrong.
Just talk about some nonsense.
Fans, let us know.
I'm going to look it up right now. Or email us at unrelatedpod@gmail.com.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right.
Like and subscribe.
All right. So, on an unrelated note, I saw this in the stores the other day. I've seen ads for it. Swedish Fish Oreos. What the what is going on there? I like Swedish Fish. I like Oreos. But I never thought to combine the two. What's going? That doesn't sound like a good treat at all.
So, I really like these varying flavors of Oreos.
Me too, but like not that gummy and chocolate.
No, I don't. I draw the line. I've always thought that you were either the world, like in the world today, we like to divide ourselves into so many different like groups of people, right? And like people want to hate on people for like different things. I genuinely believe that there are three types of people in the world. People who like chocolate-based candies, people who like fruit-based candies, and savages.
Anarchist.
Those are the only three types of people. And this seems like
We have broken down human culture using candy and sweets to three classes, people. You can't get that anywhere else but on unrelated note, guys.
So... And listen, I'll dabble in a fruit snack every now and then, but I'm a chocolate guy. And but
I'll dabble.
Listen,
I dabble.
I think I need to. I think I need to be very careful about what I say because I also said I don't think we should be mixing these fruits with these chocolates.
Oh my God, that would have been terrible.
But I just said it. But yeah, no. Yeah. So I think they need to be separate but equal candies. Yeah. I think it's like mostly like I just
keep your candy on this side.
I'm real pre-1968 about my candies. Like I just don't like. I don't know. Like listen, I like a Skittle or something every now and then. But like no, I'm chocolate. And I just, even once you start introducing like a strawberry filling or something to my chocolate, I don't like it. And Swedish Fish, I don't know. I don't know about this.
So our vote for Swedish Fish Oreos is a negative.
Yes.
Don't check it out. It's wrong.
I wish we had a video version because when Mike says it's negative, he held his thumb basically horizontal. Just usually not the side. But it's okay.
I made it like a little down. There was a little downward angle, I think. So moving on an unrelated note.
Which is the name of our podcast. Like and subscribe on iTunes.
Yes, please do that. We're on iTunes now, guys. Hey, yeah. Jared Leto, which I've been giving him a lot of crap lately because it's the Joker. But this is not like crap. This is more just like WTF type of stuff. He's joining Harrison Ford and Ryan Gosling in the Blade Runner sequel. Now, Blade Runner, what is Blade Runner known for? It's like the most innovative like CGI at the time. Was that it, Mike?
Blade Runner is known for being a movie
that no one knows anything about, because I can't remember it. Like I remember it, but I don't remember it being anything.
Because
it wasn't anything.
Here's the thing, Mike. We're starting a podcast about like TV and movies. If we come right out and both kind of go, we don't really like Blade Runner. That's it. We're crashing and burning. So I'm going to pretend.
But see, that's, I'm going
to pretend to like Blade Runner.
Listen,
while you
listen. I guarantee you, most people know the name Blade Runner, but can't quote a line from the movie or tell you what happens. They just like it because they're supposed to like it, and I want to tell them what it is, and why you should.
It is the Citizen Kane of sci-fi movies in that it's incredibly overrated.
It is so overrated.
And it's fine, but even people who like the movie, and again, like any movie you want, we're not here to tell you not to like a movie. I'm just saying I don't particularly care for it.
I've never heard anyone quote a Blade Runner thing or be like, Blade Runner's the best. No, Blade Runner, and people were like, oh yeah, what about Blade Runner? They're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that movie. Oh yeah, no, it has its place in the world.
The worst part about Blade Runner is that there are 3 official cuts of the movie. And so the thing that bothers me the most about Blade Runner is Blade Runner was fine. Like visually, it looked pretty cool, but I didn't really.
I think that's what it was more astounding. It was just being visually.
I didn't really care for it, but
it's boring.
Well, no, but my problem with it is then I go, I didn't really care for Blade Runner. Like, which version did you see? I'm like, well, I saw the theatrical cut. Well, you don't know. Watch the director's cut, and then you'll know that it's gonna. And then I watched the director's cut, and I'm like, I really didn't care for it. And then the next person will be like, well, did you watch the extended direct? Because it's like, no, release one movie, and I will judge whatever version of that movie is.
You know what? To those people that have that argument, I love the movie Donnie Darko. And Donnie Darko has 3 or 4 different cuts. They're all good to me. So, if it's not good theatrical-wise, I don't care if there's 14 extra minutes. It's not going to be
That's
good.
like they released the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, and it's like...
where Batman says the F word.
Yeah,
which he wouldn't do.
And it just... No, just put together a script. DC's now done it twice, because they had the same thing with Suicide Squad. Write a 120-page script and shoot it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Just write for anyone who doesn't know, usually a page of script usually equals about a minute of runtime. So if you have a 120-page script, about 2 hours. Bearing in mind a lot of action-heavy scripts will probably just have they punch for a bit or something like that in there. So then you get to an hour 20 or something like that, or 2:20. But I think they said the script for Suicide Squad was 180 minutes, and then they did reshoots on a new script. And it's don't have 4 hours of footage. You can't put that in a movie. Tell your story. If you handed in an article to a newspaper and they were like, this is your byline, this is how much your page you're getting, you wouldn't write a story that didn't fit into that and then just take out words until it fit. You know what I mean? You're you wouldn't an editing project, but you wouldn't be this is my final story, and then the editor go, I'll just pull out some random words. Do you need to? Need to mention that it was a fire? Can we won't tell them it was a fire. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Why are these people in this place?
Why did Captain Boomerang come back? We have no idea.
We have no idea. Captain Boomerang, you were other than Slipknot, you were the front runner for me until you came back.
Well, obviously, other than Slipknot. I think I said this the other day. I don't even know if it was still on I don't even know if it's in one of the podcasts we shot, or if I even said it to you or I said it to someone else. All I needed to love Captain Boomerang was him to duck out, all of them be walking down the street, he's in the alley, he's holding the beer that he had taken out of the bar, it's empty, he sees them walking through and he's like, oh well, I'm out of beer, I might as well go fight somebody. There's
literally so many more reasons that he could have joined up, but he still.
And by so many more, you mean literally just any reason.
Yeah, yeah. All right, moving on. So on Unrelated note, there's I saw a new trailer the other day for Call of Duty. Now, don't get me wrong, I hate Call of Duty. There was at one point we all played it. It's dumb now because people never stop playing Call of Duty. Since Call of Duty 1, there's been people playing the same Call of Duty and have never stopped.
Well, in all fairness, since Modern Warfare 1, people have been playing the same Call of Duty.
Sorry, Modern Warfare 1. But they are releasing another Nazi Zombies, and it's like an 80s version, and they're like breakdancing and stuff. Here, Nazi Zombies was awesome because the original, because you worked with a team, you got together, you shot. It was very basic, and now it's become this huge thing where there's so much involved. And I don't know if you've played a Nazi Zombie game recently. It's just so much going on. I
haven't played it in the longest time. I think me and Joel might have booted up like Nazi Zombies on like the original Xbox or whatever, like a while back.
Which is fun because it's
simple.
Like
so basically, the idea for the
yeah.
Nazi Zombies was, and this is why, it was like they didn't even really advertise it much, but just in the World at War, I believe it is, Call of Duty that came out, it was just like this mode where it was like, oh, you're just like a Russian and like a Frenchman and like an American and someone else that's trapped in a house, and all these Nazis have come back alive, and like you kill them, and you slowly, like, more of them are coming as you're expanding into the house until you finally just have to make a last stand up in that one place where it's the only place you can make a last stand at. And
yeah,
like, so that was fun, but then they just started adding like, oh, but now you can like buy teleporters, and it just got dumb. And like now,
it got really dumb. And now there's breakdancing zombies.
It's
guys.
very gimmicky now too. Like their big selling point. Here's this one, like David Hasselhoff is one of the characters in this one, and like I think last year like Jeff Goldblum was there. Like it's very.
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar was one time. You had the dude that played Earl from The Walking Dead was a character at one point. Danny Trejo. Yeah, they're making their money.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I don't know. Nostalgia. We're getting old, man. Nostalgia's really holding in for us.
It's just one of those things where, like, I get it. It's just stagnant. It's one of those things. I don't begrudge people getting stagnant. Listen, you make money doing what you're doing, and you just keep making money. Why would you stop? Like you can't give me a good reason for Call of Duty to stop. You can't give me a good reason for South Park to stop. You can't give me a good reason for Family Guy to stop. Like you can't give me a good reason for The Simpsons to stop. Well, by the way, I'm on and off with South Park. Like it's okay sometimes every now and then, but like
I disagree. I love South Park. It's great.
But
I love every season.
But you know, like people go, what? Like, and I just made a joke earlier about how good they're gonna make 10 Fast and the Furious. Why the heck wouldn't you make 10 Fast and the Furious?
Oh, I mean, people are gonna see it.
Yeah, like you're gonna make your.
I don't like it, but I'm gonna see it.
They're gonna have Transformers 5, right? Guess what?
God.
It's gonna make like I can't.
The last
like
night.
we want to sit here and go, why won't you just make a good Transformers movie? And the answer is because they don't have to make a good They can just make a Transformers movie. It's the same joke I made about like the Batman v Superman. It's like as long as that wasn't a blank screen for 2.5 hours, they were gonna make $1 billion.
This is going to be on an unrelated note, folks.
That's not really what we do here, Mike.
The whole reason I wanted to bring up Nazi Zombies was because the original way we played was fun. You got your friends together and you worked on a thing. Well, there's this game coming out called Sea of Thieves, and I watched like 10 minutes of its gameplay, and it looked a lot of fun. Like you're these pirates on this ship. You have 4 people. And you're just like exploring. I guess it somewhat has like the No Man's Sky type of thing, but you just go around, you explore, and you have to use your teammates to turn the ship, to shoot the cannons, and if you get hit by other people's ships, which is all online, like you have to go and like board up the holes and stuff. So like you go around finding better stuff, and then when there's no one out there, like people are playing accordions and getting drunk and stuff. It just looks like it's so basic sounding, but I feel like it could be a lot of fun.
So. Two thoughts. Well, first of all, Sea of Thieves is coming from the studio Rare, who haven't been super great lately, but like people remember they did like Banjo-Kazooie, like Donkey Kong Country, GoldenEye.
I loved Banjo-Kazooie.
There's some old school pedigree there that I don't know how.
There was some old school innovative.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
by them.
I mean, GoldenEye, like you couldn't do a first person shooter.
Everyone played GoldenEye. Yeah. Everyone played. Yeah.
So it looks like a lot of fun. I'm more worried about it, not in a No Man's Sky way, but in a team-based game. Like, could you have fun? Like, I think it takes like 4 people to helm this pirate ship, right? Because even like the person who's steering, because you're driving it and you can't see, so you have to have a friend either on the front of the boat or on the top to be like, "Hey, we're gonna hit a rock," which is awesome. But dude, I mean, listen, that'll be fun. Like for like maybe like a couple times when we can get a few of us together to play. But like, listen, I don't need to. I'm not going to go online and put my microphone in to hear some 13-year-old talk about how he banged my mom.
So
like,
I guess the argument here is like, if you have people that can play the game, it will be fun. Like if we got enough of us to play, you'd always have someone to play with. But I don't want to talk to some random kid who's not going to listen to me or not have a mic in.
Like
I get you.
No, like I just like the online. I mean, all you got to do is look at the comments on everything. Like I don't want to deal with people on the internet. Like people on the internet are. As we are people talking on the internet. And also, send any emails to unrelatedpod@gmail.com. But yeah, I don't want to deal with it. I don't need some kid like talking junk or whatever. So I can see how it could be super fun. The problem with games that are relying on teamwork is that so if we had that means the only time I would be able to have fun playing it is like if we have if I have 3 people that can play with me, which is, to go back to what we were talking about earlier, I'm getting older. I can't. All my friends are getting older. Like
games are already too long, anyways.
Yeah.
We gotta keep our times. Like,
how often do you have 3 people on your friends list that are playing a game and not just like watching their Netflix or something, like online at the same time?
I mostly turn it on and I'm like, there's people I never play with, and then there's the people I do watching TV or something.
Yeah.
Or not online.
I mean, my Xbox is my Netflix, Hulu, all that stuff box. I mean, it's on all the time, but like I'm not playing that much.
Yeah. So I know we were talking about Arrow earlier and we made a few jokes, but I actually saw something I got excited for. Dolph Lundgren is signed up for Arrow season 5. I assume he'll have a small role as like a villain, but like, come on, dude, like that's awesome.
Dolph
Rocky 4 villain.
Dolph Lundgren. He's what was he? Was he in the Masters of the Universe too?
Was he?
I have no idea. The He-Man movie, was he in that?
No, I don't think he could. No. I don't know. Don't quote
me.
No.
Yeah. Well, but what I love about Dolph Lundgren is that like he always plays just this like big brooding like thick skulled like just like bro, I'm gonna beat everyone up or whatever. But
I think that's Dolph Lundgren.
No, it's not.
Actually, he's not. Isn't he like got a doctorate?
He has like a doctorate in like chemistry or something like that. Like it's so funny that like because so many people like because he's in like the same even talking like Stallone. Like I think most Stallone's roles, he's just kind of Stallone. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I bet that's how he talks in real life. Do you ever see Creed? I haven't seen Creed yet, but I've heard it's really good.
I saw Creed.
Is it good?
It's pretty good. It's not as good as everyone thinks it is, but it's good.
In the pantheon of Rocky movies, where would you think it'd go?
It's not really a Rocky movie.
Well, Rocky's in. How's it not a Rocky movie?
They're making it its own thing. I mean, Rocky's just the trainer. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like a Rocky movie. It feels like. That's the thing, man. It's okay. I like it, but I don't dislike it.
Yeah, the guy.
It's nothing new.
Because the guy who directed that's doing Black Panther, I believe.
Yeah, I mean the director's good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Maybe it's just I've seen so many Rocky films.
Yeah, it's just like, you're an underdog and now you're gonna win or whatever. Yeah.
It's the same story every time, no matter who's doing it. Yeah.
I have a controversial Rocky take. I think that Rocky Balboa, granted I haven't seen Creed, is the second best Rocky movie.
Second. What's your first?
Rocky.
See, I am totally different on that.
Really? What do you think of like Rocky 4? You want to be in a street fight or whatever that movie was about?
Rocky 4 is my favorite.
Wait. So Rocky 4 is
was against Dolph Lundgren.
All right, I'm thinking Rocky 5 is a street fight Rocky. That's the worst Rocky.
I hate that Rocky. God, that was the worst. No, Rocky 4 was the best one to me because I feel like I actually thought Rocky was gonna lose because he killed the first Creed.
I mean, I mean, it's totally like, I mean, that's legitimate. I'd probably put I'd say probably, I'd probably go Rocky 1 because, dude, Rocky 1's so solid. Like, that's such a solid movie, dude.
Yeah, no, it is. It would have been better if he won.
But that's what's so good about it. But he did the fact that he was allowed to go the distance.
He went the distance.
That's so I don't know. I really like Rocky 1. I mean, my childhood dog was named Adrian.
Adrian! Some days I just hope she'd get lost so I could yell it like that.
Oh, she ran away all the time. She was a real bad dog. But I loved her, whatever. Because she was my bad dog. But yeah, no, so like that, and like Rocky 2 just felt like a Hollywoodized version of Rocky 1.
Yeah, it was the same thing. Rocky 3 was, God, I know people like Mr. T, but
Rocky 3
I thought it
was weird. Like,
yeah,
it was really weird.
I was gonna say weird. It was weird. It was like, she'd never been with a real woman before. Yeah. And you're like Rocky.
Not to mention, it starts with him fighting Hulk Hogan, which I don't know. Like, I think Mr. T is more of the movie, so people forget that the opening scene is a charity match between him and Hulk Hogan, who is.
And Hulk Hogan just goes in that Hulkamania mode.
Yeah, he's like, I think he's technically not playing Hulk Hogan, but like he's basically playing, like he just wants to play dirty or something. So then Rocky has to come at him with his punch. That one's dumb. Is that the one?
I totally forgot.
Which one does he own? He owns a robot in one of them.
I think it's Rocky 3.
Probably. Oh, because it's like Mickey's been fixing his fights. Oh yeah, that's right. All right. On an unrelated note, anything that's not Rocky, go ahead. What was the next thing?
I'm glad you brought it up because I was about to. Yo, so I'm so excited for The Flash Season 3, for y'all that don't know. And I will give a spoiler out there because they're doing this Flashpoint thing. So
I don't spoil people on The Flash. Go watch The Flash. If you're listening to this right now, you're watching this right now. The Flash.
Then you're either already watching The Flash, or you should be watching it.
Is my favorite show on television right now, I think.
It's
like
awesome.
Hold on, I think is there a fire? Can you hear that fire truck? All right, great. I live in a bunch of tall buildings. It's very echo chambery around here. All right, where's the fire? But the Flash. The Flash does this thing where I feel like it's super cool for anyone who knows anything about the character, but it's also like super approachable because like it deals with real stuff. It has my favorite actor of all time, Jesse Martin. You might know him as the cop from Law and Order. Like, he's the best.
That's your favorite actor of all
time? I say he's one of my favorite actors. Like, he's so good. He was so good in Law and Order. He was like,
I don't watch
Law and Order is so good.
Ugh.
And by Law,
I'm not saying it's bad.
And by Law and Order is so good, I mean Law and Order is so good when it's Jesse Martin and the guy who was the dad in Dirty Dancing, whose name I can't remember right now, and I feel real bad because I really like that dude. But they're together.
You had some old school references there.
Dude, listen, our one female listener is like, I remember Dirty Dancing too. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone does. Let me get to the point of what I was trying to get to. Yes, The Flash is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But season 3, they're going to have 2 speedsters, that are villains.
That is incorrect.
No, I thought they were. Continue then. Inform me.
They're having
Mike.
2 new speedsters. They're having the Kid Flash and I don't remember the other guy's name. Another bad Reverse Flash slash Zoom, like a bad speedster, and then like Dr. Alchemy or Dr. something or other. He's not a speedster. He's just a.
All right, so I don't know if this is maybe the speedster you're talking about or a new one, but I read that Savitar.
Yeah. That's the name I was looking for, Savitar.
Yeah, he's from the new Earth edition of the comics.
And by the name I'm looking for, I meant I'd never heard that name before I read a news story.
Well, basically, he ends up being the guy that strips speedsters of their speed because he kind of like works for the Speed Force, so like kind of in some sense.
No, I was about to.
He's like a Reaper, but he's a speedster Reaper, I think.
So he sounds like the Dark Racer, but I don't know if that's.
I don't know what they're doing. They combine so many like characters.
But like that's what's so cool about the show The Flash is like it's so many like deep cuts and stuff that like they've through the first 2 seasons they've already introduced like time travel and like alternate dimensions.
Multiverse.
They just like are thrown like that's so fun though. I hate like shows like Smallville back in the day where like they would just like drip feed you like the slowest thing. It's like I'm indestructible and I can move at Cuban speeds and all that, but like should I help people? It's like yeah you should. You're indestructible.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Like put a paper bag over your head and go punch some bad guys. Like what are you doing?
100%. one could argue like why Smallville was on television as long as it was, but that's my opinion. No, but Savitar actually teams up with the Lady Flash, and she ends up helping him to strip the speedsters of their powers, which makes me think that Jesse Quick might that could be like some sort of connection.
My question was, by Lady Flash, do you mean Jesse Quick?
Maybe I do.
I honestly don't know if there's a character called Lady Flash. Like, I wouldn't put it past comics of like the 50s to be like, who's this? That's he's like the Flash. He's the Kid Flash.
That's the girl version of
that's Lady Flash. Like, I wouldn't have put it that past. I don't know if that's.
Well, I don't know. Like, but that could like, season 2 ended with Jesse Quick like supposedly getting powers. That could be cool if maybe that she ends up being on the bad side. But like, there's talk that Jay might come back. Wally's definitely a speedster now, and a lot of like some fans that aren't like hardcore, they're like wondering if it's going to get too repetitive. But here's the thing about speedsters in the Flash universe: you always have to have a speedster that is a villain. You have to, because the Flash. It's like the most interesting thing about him is he can go back and forth through time. There's multiverse travel. Without someone that can match him in that, he's gonna win every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like that was really the thing like that I thought was interesting. I think that's something they learned from Arrow when they were like, we shouldn't just have everyone be a cool assassin that can fight the Arrow. It's like, no, you really should. Like, you can have mediocre villains, but if you don't have a speedster, like, the Flash is secretly the most powerful superhero in the world.
See, I think that too. Honestly, like, if there's anyone that could beat Superman because Superman is so powerful, it has to be the Flash.
Yeah, I mean, so I think there are probably storylines that probably happen where, like, what the Flash will do is he will run around the world, and bearing in mind because like it's the Speed Force stuff. It doesn't.
See what you did. Bearing in mind, Barry.
I didn't mean Barry Allen in mind, but yes, I guess bearing in mind. So what he could do is he can run around the Earth multiple times in a split second, and so I'm gonna get a little sciencey on here. So basically,
here we go, nerd core.
So people go, oh, why can't you travel the speed of light? And it's because exponential amount of energy to move yourself forward. Because the faster you go, the greater your mass. So Barry isn't, or the Flash isn't consigned to these ideas of Newtonian physics. So he can run almost to the speed of light. So when he runs, if he can run around the world a couple times, get his speed up, and punch you, he's basically punching you with a force that couldn't exist because nothing could ever travel as fast as that punch.
So Superman,
like he could, like, I mean, you could have an argument about whether like punching Superman's face would like break his hand or something like that, but like it would hurt to be hit by a force that doesn't exist. Like, light can travel at the speed of light because it's virtually massless. So if you added if you had like one atom or like two atoms that you could like.
Let's just agree that the Flash could probably take Superman. Let's just
that's fine.
Yeah. I think that is a general notion that most people wouldn't understand. He broke it down for them.
Welcome to, on an unrelated note, physics is pretty cool.
And if you click on our bio, there's a Bill Nye the Science Guy video. No, I'm just playing. There's not, but it was a good show.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. So, just to keep it on DC related, so they're talking about the producers at Warner Brothers are releasing all these articles to hype up other movies within the Justice League even before the Justice League is out, which is just it's a cash grab. They're trying to get as much fan bases that they can. So they're like, Cyborg is supposed to appear in the Flash movie. And I'm like, how about we get the Justice League out before we even worry about that? For one reason, I don't want Justice League to suck. It's probably going to suck.
Mike.
It's going to suck.
It's going to suck.
Yeah, but the second reason is Marvel doesn't do that. Marvel, their cameos, for the most part, you don't realize who's going to show up. Like, Thor 2 is a great example of this. There was a cameo of an Avenger, and you didn't know what happened. It was Captain America, Loki playing Captain America, but you know what? That's such a memorable moment of that film when he's just like, oh, I'll be this guy, and blah, 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 blah. Everything's good. But why are you going to go ahead and be like, Cyborg's going to show up in the Flash. We don't even know what the Flash's character is, if it's good yet or anything.
So DC's, the actual reason that DC's movie slate is like, let's bring all the heroes together as fast as possible, is because the Avengers made $1 billion. And they were like, shit, we have a bunch of movie characters. We should probably do that. But what they don't understand, and I've had this conversation with you before, I think, Mike, is like, and what I think a lot of people don't understand, because there have been a lot of like Game of Thrones clones going on, like on TV, and there's a lot of like people trying to imitate Marvel and doing the same. But like, what Marvel did that was, in Game of Thrones in the same way, is they made everyone accept these crazy things that they wouldn't have initially. Like, so for the Game of Thrones reference, like if I was like, hey, like my sister, she hates all this stuff that I like. But if I was like, hey, Kat, you want to watch a show about like dragons and ice zombies and all this kind of stuff? And she'd be like, no, that's for idiots. No. I don't like. She's like, I'm busy doing accounting stuff and being a productive member of society. I'm not going to watch this show. And but then like you've now built it over like 5 seasons. Now people are like, oh, I'm so excited the dragons came. You know what I mean? Like normal people.
Right.
And the same thing with like the way that Marvel. It's like Iron Man. He is just technology. Like he's just like. He's like a Batman who built a better suit. Like, and everyone's like, all right, we're cool with that. And then it's like the Hulk, some weird Gamma stuff happening. Like, well, people didn't really like that one too. But
I can believe that.
Yeah, and then it's like Captain America, he's got a super soldier. And it's like Thor, he's magic. It's not really, it's science magic. It's not really magic. And like, they've just slowly been like, all right, well, if I accept that, like, you know, Iron Man could create the Iron Man suit, then I should have to accept that the Hulk could be created, which means I kind of have to accept that but this one just like
there's a secret serum that makes someone powerful.
But this is just like it feels like they're just throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing what sticks.
Absolutely, they don't know what they're doing. They're trying to play catch up. At DC, if you could just like calm it down for a minute, like the Justice League movie should not be coming out before the Flash or Cyborg or Aquaman film. It should be those are origin films of characters we've never seen by DC, like cinematically wise. We need to see that, especially Aquaman. Aquaman's been shat on for so many years. People I would love.
And
to
here's
see
why. And here's why it needs to. And here's why you have to do it that way, is because then you don't waste your movie. Okay, like
explaining
exactly.
Stuff that you
the Avengers show up.
Movie.
Each of them get like one slight scene with like Coulson or someone like that. And it's like if you haven't seen the other movie, this is kind of who they are, but like we're not going to set up who any of these people are because that'd be a waste of this story. Much in the way that like most of Batman v Superman was wasted on setting up Batman, who I would argue is a character that doesn't need to be set up because
we already
his
know.
Parents died.
Yeah.
If you don't know that Batman's parents are dead,
what are you doing with your life?
I can't believe you could be over 5 years old and not know that Batman's parents are dead. I can't imagine that.
Exactly. Can I just say something on an unrelated note that I've always wondered? Why the hell are Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Wayne walking down a very shady street, and in every rendition that they're killed, these people have billions of dollars? Why are they not taking a driver? Why are they like walking down like the worst boulevard ever for a theater? Like these, like if you were that rich, you would never do something like that. I'm just saying.
I thought Batman Begins did it pretty well. But yeah, no, like, and especially like, listen, I've met some rich people. They're mostly assholes. They would stand up in the middle of a play and walk out the front door like they don't care. They wouldn't be like, oh, let's get out the side real quick. But I think the bigger question to ask is not only why weren't they in that alley, but do you know the name of the alley that his parents were killed in? It has a name. And it's the most 1930s writing I've ever heard in my life.
Is it like Death Alley or?
It's called Crime Alley.
Are you serious?
It is in the canon. It's called Crime Alley.
Jeez.
like
it's in the really good part of town, apparently.
Like I would be like, hey, you want to go to Murder Street? It's like, no, not really.
Yeah. No, I think I'll avoid Murder Street tonight.
But I mean.
And it always bothered me that the dude robbed them and never took the money or the jewelry that he originally wanted, and he just randomly killed 2 people and left a witness. Like, come on. I love Batman. Everyone knows we both love Batman, but like I think that could be the most arguably point where you're like, maybe they could have done that a little bit better.
I mean, listen, like if you're watching on iTunes or you're seeing it on the YouTube, I got like a Batman shirt on. I made a distinct decision to have a Batman shirt, but Batman is the dumbest character of all time. Like he is. I think this got cut out of the other podcast, so I'll just bring it up real quick so I don't have to bring it up ever again.
I would love to bring it up again. This is fun.
But like, here is a billionaire who's had this tragedy happen to him, and he has like billions and billions and billions, seemingly endless amounts of money, and he wants to fix his city. And instead of investing in like infrastructure to create jobs or like investing in educational programs,
charities,
he decides to build like a luxury supercar in an invulnerable bat suit so he can hide in the shadows, scare drug dealers, and then punch them in the face.
It's like, why not innovate some systems to like build the economy up? You have the money to do it.
It's definitely dumb. So that's part of the reason why, like, when Zack Snyder wants to take
accept that part of it.
It's all inherently dumb. Same thing for Arrow, like the Flash, like, and I guess that's why they come with.
Arrow does some stuff well though. Like, and I brought this up in the last. No, think about it though. Like, in Batman vs Superman, Batman has this high-tech bat cave, and like in every Batman version, there's a high-tech bat. Who built the bat cave? Like, did he just? He's like, hey, I'm gonna get all these contractors in. When they're done, we'll kill them. Like, I mean, someone out there knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Ben Affleck's Batman is
not
certainly not above killing all of them. I'll tell you that.
Either Alfred is the smartest guy alive and knows how to do everything.
But even then, the manpower. So it's like it's inherently
the manpower alone.
Inherently a dumb character. Yeah. Like,
right, but at least in Arrow, it seems a little bit more reasonable that they're back. Like, it evolved over time. They're cave.
Well, I guess like, to bring it back to have it be on a related note, like, Tony Stark, like they make Tony Stark a more believable character because he already has like this technology in his back. He already has this stuff. Like, Bruce Wayne's been Batman since he was a little kid. Like, when did he build any of this? Like, we don't understand. Like, it's dumb.
Right, and it shows us if you go to Nolan's Batman. That in that universe, like, Lucius Fox does everything for him. So it's not like he has the power to do it. So you know that Batcave, like, Lucius Fox hired someone to even build that little like hangar of stuff for Batman.
It still doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Batman doesn't make any sense.
He's my favorite fictional character of all time, and he might be one of the dumbest fictional characters of all time.
Right. God, man, that's sad to say. I don't like admitting that. I really don't.
That means dumb. It's fine. Well, we can move on. We don't have to belabor our Batman points.
All right. On an unrelated note, we're gonna move on to. I saw the other day, and I don't know if this is a cash grab for Will Smith or Martin Lawrence, but Bad Boys 3 has been slotted for 2018.
All right.
This is gonna be dumb. This is gonna be dumb. Come on, what has Martin Lawrence been in so long? Like, he probably just called up Will Smith one day and was like, buddy, I'm struggling. I got to get another movie out there. What we did Bad Boys, we can do it again.
The only thing that I like about this is that, like, I had said about Suicide Squad, like, I really like how Will Smith was fine, like, just embracing, all right, I'll be Will Smith, the movie star. I'll stop doing, like, Concussion and all this stuff that no one wants to watch. And
even though, didn't he win an award for?
Nah, he got he got snubbed.
No?
His wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, was from Enter the Matrix and nothing else that I can remember. Is
yeah, I don't know anything.
She protested the Academy Awards because there were no black nominees, and she was like, because my husband should have gotten it. And I'm like, no, probably. Like some of the guys from Straight Outta Compton or something like that should have gotten it, but like,
yeah, dude, NWA would have been that was a great film with new actors who did a great job.
Dude, that guy that played whoever I don't know his name. Whoever played Eazy-E should have been nominated for something.
Yeah, he's been in some other stuff. I can't think off the top of my head. But even Ice Cube's son did a good job portraying him.
was so good.
Killed it.
Like the Dre guy was okay, I guess. Paul Giamatti was good, but like Straight Outta Compton, I believe, got one Academy Award nomination, and it was for writing.
Was it for best soundtrack?
It was for writing.
Oh, really? Really?
Oddly enough, written by 2 white guys. So listen, if Jada Pinkett Smith, if you want to get mad about something, that's fine. But like, don't get mad about the category that your husband was nominated in. Be like, well, it's racist because my husband didn't nominate. Like, Straight Outta Compton might have been my favorite movie from last year.
I saw
that
it
movie's
3 times.
so good.
I loved it. Yeah.
And I've always talked about how much I liked it because like I've listened to all that old school hip hop like throughout my life, but I had no context for any of it. So like it's like.
And now it's like we feel like we know so much more
like,
now.
There's like so it's like, man, I knew that like this thing happened when Eazy was forced to like at gunpoint, and I knew that Dre had a falling out with Cube, and I knew they got back together. But I heard all those. I heard all those songs in 2004, so I had no idea in which order any of those things happened. Like, you know,
exactly. Like I didn't know that Suge Knight was a crazy mofo that just like held people off ledges and like literally is in jail because I think he killed people.
Suge Knight was basically the Godfather. Like I don't. You remember?
Oh, rap
like,
back then.
You remember that scene in The Godfather? It's at the wedding. It's the opening scene of the original Godfather, 1977. Watch The Godfather. It's a great movie. And Michael's there, and he's talking with his girlfriend at the time, and there's a famous singer singing at his sister's wedding. And she's like, "Oh, how'd you get this famous singer?" And it's like, "Oh, well, you know, he owes my father a favor." And she's like, "What do you mean he owes your father a favor?" And he's like, "Well, he was getting a bad deal from his old producer, so my dad went in to talk to him and explained to him either his brains or his signature were going to be on the paper." And like then Suge Knight saw. Apparently, I guess Suge Knight saw that and was like, "Is that how you deal with music?"
I wouldn't have doubted. Like I heard like someone like the scene in NWA the movie when he's Suge Knight beats that dude's ass for that parks in his spot. That actually happened.
Yeah.
Like he almost kills him, and Dre's like, "Dude, it's not worth it." Like that actually happened.
I think they were afraid of a bit of defamation in that because they at no point they don't call him Suge. I think they just call him Suge the whole time. They don't.
Well, that's a guy that's in prison that probably.
Yeah.
Still
So I've definitely heard complaints from people that like, well, you know, since Ice Cube and Dre were the producers, they like put everything in a better light. Like they were probably shit people. They probably were shit people. Like but like that doesn't make the movie not good. Like Remember the Titans is completely inaccurate. But that's a good movie. Like,
well, from what I understand, everyone was in a bad place except for Eazy-E because that manager that was played by Paul Giamatti really did screw him over. Yeah. So that But on an unrelated note, I wanted to talk about something that.
Wait, what?
Robert Downey.
Was there a point to what were we talking about before this? Will Smith. I'm glad he's doing fun movies again.
Oh yeah, Bad Boys 3. Wow, we got really lost there. That's how unrelated
That's
we
how
got
it works.
on the unrelated
That's how
note.
it rolls.
So on an unrelated note, I do want to discuss like 2 more things. So, Old Man Logan for Wolverine 3. Apparently, this is happening. They showed a pic of Hugh Jackman. Old as crap looking. Like he is
Hugh Jackman,
really
a national treasure.
A national treasure. Well, if you're Perry Cox from Scrubs, then you hate Hugh Jackman. So that is an old reference. That is true. There. No, but yeah, I think honestly, I could be excited for this Wolverine film. You're going to give me something new and different. You're going to give me an Old Man Logan, someone who's tired, and it's going to be rated R, so you're going to just get to see these claws rip through some flesh and blood going, which is the Wolverine we've all wanted.
And I think it's going to be a road trip movie with like him and Patrick Stewart, which excites me to no end.
Is in it, yeah. which is even crazier that the time travel is still going on, so you still have James McAvoy as Professor X, and then you still have Patrick Stewart as Professor X in the future. That's crazy that they're even still going with that, because I thought they would have cut that at some point.
Here's a question I have, and I pose it to you, even though that you're still very, you know what's going on in all these, you know who owns what studios and all this kind of stuff, but I really wonder like how confusing this has to be. Like it's kind of confusing to me, because is this the original X-Men timeline? Is this the post Days of Future Past timeline, or is this the new pre-post Days of Future Past timeline where things are happening in the new X-Men universe post 80s, post Age Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Like,
God, man, that was. I don't know how anyone would have followed that statement right there, but I think what you're trying to say is this movie going to be the reactions because of them going back in time and fixing things? Is this going to be the movie because they just kept a continuity of the same timeline? Like, why is this movie happening? Like, we need to know.
For anyone who's curious, they made X-Men 1, 2, and 3. Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Gandalf. What was Ian McKellen? Ian
Gandalf. I was like, not Lord of the Rings, guys, but
the same actor. And if we ever use an actor name on this podcast or a character name, we mean them interchangeably. And and so basically, then you had X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was bad, and then they did X-Men First Class with by Matthew Vaughn, which people liked. And so then they went, how can we bring these two universes together? So they decided to do a time travel story where in X-Men Days of Future Past, where the old cast went back in time to influence what the new cast.
You're thinking of Apocalypse. Was it? No, Future Past. You're right. Sorry.
Yes, I was thinking of the thing that I said. Thank you, Mike. And
right.
So anyway, but at the end of that, so they end up diverting the They do end up
I got you screwed up.
But here's the weird thing: they do end up diverting.
No, there was an apocalypse in that movie, though,
but not a guy named Apocalypse.
It was Sentinels.
Yeah,
no, it was Sentinels that were taking.
And but at the end of that, it's him in like Back to the Future, Marty McFly style, and like everything's worked out. But then they have X-Men Apocalypse that is set after the majority of Days of Future Past, but before the end of Days of Future Past, where we know everything works out for everyone. So is this Old Man Logan set in the timeline before Days of Future Past or the timeline after Days of Future Past? Because I'm confusing myself.
I am so confused.
Like they're messing this up. I don't know. Like I'm so confused.
All I'm saying is, if you've watched every X-Men movie, especially the recent ones, it's always like a general premise that mutants are bad. And I gotta be honest, they could be, if you think about it. If you really think about it, mutants brought Days of Future Past. Because of them, they brought along Sentinels that destroyed the world. And Apocalypse, he was a mutant that didn't like how everything was going. So because he was a mutant, he killed everybody.
I would argue
he wanted to kill
that
everyone.
Perhaps human prejudice is really the thing that brought along both Days of Future Past and Apocalypse.
Well, not Apocalypse, because back in the day, he was looked at as a god.
But what if everyone wasn't mean? Actually, I don't remember that movie enough to argue that. But like Days of Future Past, that's just like I think.
I'm just saying their argument is that mutants aren't bad, but they keep giving them reasons. It's always like things happen because.
But I think, but no. I feel what you're saying, but I think like I feel like the point of mutants is like surrogates for like any sort of outcast in society. Be it any sort.
No,
of
I understand that.
Like,
yeah.
The Sentinels, like sure, Mystique, like shooting that guy is what prompted them to like make Sentinels faster or whatever. But the reason they were thinking about making Sentinels in the first place is because like people are afraid of stuff they don't understand, right?
Well, I think that's just general human society.
Yeah. So isn't that the real villain though?
I guess you could argue either way.
I mean,
well, hey, we made an argument one time where the Empire of Star Wars, like the bad guys, actually had a better reason. Like they were actually the good guy, and the rebels were the bad guys.
I absolutely believe that's a possibility. Besides, especially in the original Star Wars, there's really like the first episode 4. There's really nothing to tell you that the Empire is like actually bad.
Except,
like I guess they blow up that planet, right?
Yeah.
But like they're dealing with a rebellion, like.
Yeah, and I think I made the comparison too. Like back in WW2, we were telling, the Axis powers to stop, and we dropped.
Blowing up Alderaan is dropping Little Boy on Hiroshima or dropping
equivalent,
what Big Guy on Nagasaki or whatever that one was called. Like a lot of people argue historically that we would not have been able, we couldn't have like had a ground war in Japan and had to be done. Maybe the Empire is doing the same thing. Even like, like Luke wants to, I think Luke wants to join the freaking Empire at the beginning. I could be wrong, or his friend joined the Empire. Because that's another thing. They did burn his family. Maybe they are bad guys.
Maybe they are. I didn't think about that.
I did not.
Either way. All right.
What else we got?
Everyone,
we're done.
We're done. We're done. Woo, I've run out of topics.
I'm really happy that we had the slowest news week ever for our first episode.
This was the slowest news week ever, guys. It's going to keep getting better. I promise. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching if you're watching on YouTube, and thanks for listening if you're listening on iTunes or maybe SoundCloud. This is Mike Allen. That's Mike Don't. It's called Unrelated Note.
Do some plugs real quick.
You should do some plugs.
Definitely like and subscribe on YouTube. Definitely find our podcast feed on iTunes. It's on an unrelated note, same name as the show. Definitely find it. Same thing on SoundCloud. And if there are other podcast services that you'd like an Android service or a Windows phone or whatever, let me know. I'll try and find the feeds. I just couldn't find them. So definitely do that. You have any comments to hit us up with, man, hit us up on unrelatedpod@gmail.com. You can also go on Twitter. I'm trying to make a Twitter account, but I can still search. You can go do #unrelatedpod. Would definitely want any corrections, comments, anything you want to say, questions, whatever you want to do.
Anything you'd like us to talk about. We'd love those
and if you have listened this far, you're officially my best friend. Get out, Mike.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. This is Mike Allen, and that's Mike Bedont. This has been another podcast on an unrelated note.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.